live?
Not yet.
All right.
For your go.
Let's go. Let's do it. All right. Welcome to Tulsa Open Source Hardware. So Tulsa Open Source Hardware, first of all, I want to give 2 thank yous to start out with. First, I want to thank Project Make It, who's doing our streaming today. Woo! So we've got a pretty nice setup here, and we've got video, we've got multiplexing, we've got the camera and the computer, and then also want to thank B&K Makerspace. Yay! They're giving us the space for the meeting.
Unfortunately, Philip's outside that door, so he can't hear.
He can't hear us.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, so I also wanted to say that so B&K Makerspace is it's a new makerspace here in Tulsa. So if any of you are listening online or in the Tulsa area,
You want me to just go get Philip?
I think it's fine. I can give them an advertisement. If anyone here is in the Tulsa area, we're over around 41st and Memorial, right off the highway. And anyway, it's there's monthly memberships of all sorts, and this is not like the Fab Lab. The Fab Lab is kind of the beginner's hand-holding makerspace. This is the clubhouse. If you want to weld, if you want to do anything that doesn't cause injury to other people, this is the place to do it. As long as you're making stuff. That's the thing. You have to be making stuff.
So though it could be main club, it's definitely not fight club.
24/7
So and there's 24/7 access for members. So anyway,
We will
so
have limited membership, so eventually.
yeah.
Hello. Speaking of, there's the B and B&K Makerspace.
Ooh,
How's it?
that is awesome.
So no, go ahead. So we're part of so Tulsa Open Source Hardware is part of Techlahoma. And what is Techlahoma? Well, Techlahoma is a nonprofit, volunteer-run organization that puts on over 30 monthly meetups, 2 annual conferences, and sponsors free local events. Okay, so we do this to support the grassroots tech community of Oklahoma. You can learn more at techlahoma.org. And we've got a list of meetups there. There's a help wanted board. There's several ways you can help support Techlahoma. Amazon Smile, you can subscribe on Twitch. You can donate either one time or monthly, and you can ask your company to be a sponsor, and you can buy some merch from our store. So anyway,
Sing the theme song for Techlahoma?
is there a theme song for Techlahoma? That is the strangest song I've ever heard.
I don't think there's a theme song.
There's we should come up with one. We should make one. That should be part of what we do is to make one. All right. So anyway, this is our second or 1.5 meeting at B&K. Last week was our first week here, and this is our first full meeting here. Anyway, so today I didn't know who all was going to show up, so I want to do some a little bit more introductory stuff. But one thing that I found out is how few people have ever used iCircuit. Has anyone here used iCircuit?
Never heard of it until today.
No one has heard of iCircuit. This is amazing. iCircuit. No, actually, it's everywhere. I'm not sure if it's on Linux, but it's everywhere else. Like you can do it on your phone.
So long as your phone is not.
No,
It's web-based, man.
no, it's not web-based. Nope. No, actually, it's .NET. It's Xamarin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure there's an Android version. Here, I'll go to the website. Let's see here. So what is it available for? It's got no. It's not open source. Well, it's based on an open source project. So you got iOS, Mac OS 10. Okay, so it's got Windows 8 and Windows Phone. So no Android, but they do support
Got
Windows
so
Phone.
ready for the future.
I'm
The distant future, the year 2000.
I'm surprised they don't support Android. That's a big shocker for me.
Windows Phone was the only time I couldn't figure out
If you're a Windows Store app, you get Windows Phone for free. That's probably what I thought.
Probably so.
You don't have to do anything. It just
So
works.
what does
Yeah.
Windows 8 store mean?
I think
It's
it.
the same as not getting updated so much.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to show you a recent update that's pretty phenomenal.
Because they didn't update it to just say the Windows Store. They
Well-
used to call it Windows 8 Store before Windows 10 came out.
Yeah, well, I think it also means that it supports Windows 8. So like even if you're have an old Windows computer, it'll still run.
What about 7?
Probably not.
Probably. Probably not.
Well,
It's a Metro app.
depending on how you get it.
Yeah.
If you have to get it from the Windows Store, then Windows 7 is probably out.
Yeah, no, it's that if it's through Windows Store, then it's Windows Store only.
So before I show you iCircuit, I'll show you there's actually a web app that it's based on, and this one actually is open source. This is the Fallstad Circuit Simulator, and it's pretty nice. So you can add wires, we can add a resistor. Although sometimes just figuring out how, like, see, I'm clicking things as, trying to figure out how to get things moved in line. You're like, I'm trying to move this stuff around, and it's just adding resistors. So, yeah, exactly. It just gets cluttered.
Just drop handfuls.
Yeah. Well,
That should work, right?
I usually have my multimeter around so I can figure out what on earth type of resistor I have, because I don't know if
You set up a
d-
touring flip band.
yeah. Can anyone here like read resistors like without like without the table, or without a magnifying glass?
I got glasses on.
That's
I-
about as far as I got.
Yeah,
The colors, it's been long.
Got some of the colors.
I can't do it without like a magnifying. Actually, what I usually have to do is I have to take a picture of it with my iPhone and then blow it up. It's pretty sad. Yeah. Oh, nice. A pocket magnifier. Yeah. So I just use my multimeter. I'm just like, what's the resistance? Okay, there we go. So this is actually a really cool program, but the user interface is not fantastic. The user interface could actually use a lot of work on this. Just as far, I mean, it looks pretty, but just kind of messing around with the, with all, try to get everything in the right spot and doing the right thing. It's a little hard to work with, and it's kind of slow.
So you getting a lot of resistors is proof of it giving a lot of resistance.
Yes, that's true. Ironic and true. So this is actually an open source project. Let's see here if I can find.
I have seen this before.
Yeah. So somewhere I've seen the source code somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where it's stored. But this is actually Java. Okay. So iCircuit is built in C# and .NET. So they had to rewrite it, but from what I understand, they basically took what was happening here and rewrote it. Very similarly. So this is iCircuit. Okay. And so you start off with a blank space, but the nice thing about iCircuit is that it just starts. I think I paused mine, but it generally just starts with everything on. And so you just go to sources. Everything needs power. So we're just going to make a DC source. And then we're going to put in.
It defaults to 5 volts.
Exactly. Starts with 5 volts. Give it LED. Throw in a resistor. And then we'll just hook everything up. And you just connect the wires. And just click and drag for connecting wires. And then I shouldn't look up there while I'm trying to do this. So then you turn this on, and see even the LED even lights up for you. All right. So if you had too much, if it wouldn't actually work, let's see here. So you can just click these and drag them around, and you can see the electricity flowing. I can click anywhere on the graph, and it'll tell me the current and voltage. In fact, what I can do is anytime that I want a, I can click here, and if I click on, so that we get current and voltage up in the right hand corner. If I click on current, I now get an oscilloscope at that point.
Oh, pimp.
Yeah. So and then I can just take that off like that. So and I can have multiple oscilloscopes going at the same time. So I can say like I want voltage on this one, and then voltage on this one, and it's gonna keep these guys in sync. And so if I can actually add stuff to this live. So I'll rotate that around, and I'm just gonna see what I can do is I can just plunk this guy in the circuit, boom, and it changes instantly. So anyway, basic stuff is easy, but even complicated stuff is pretty easy. Let's see here. So let me show you just what happens if I overload this circuit. We'll put in a bunch of diodes. And notice now they're not red. And that's because the current going through them is 186 microamps, which is not enough to actually light up the LED.
Can you change your internal model of an LED?
So here is the forward voltage.
Oh, it's actually, yeah, okay.
So you can, I don't know, I mean, I'm not an EE guy, so I don't know what all you could change. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, you know how you have different types of LEDs?
Right.
Like some, and they use different amounts of
Yeah.
power. So can you
Yeah.
have selectivity of that?
Yeah, so this is forward voltage at 1 amp. So it tells you the voltage drop. And so for those who don't know, LEDs have an exponential drop off on voltage. So they're basically viewed as having a constant voltage, but it's actually an exponential function.
How is it exponential?
Because it actually, if you put in less current, it'll actually decrease the voltage, but the voltage.
So valve properties kick in when you're not giving it enough
Right.
voltage.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it hits exponential really quickly. So the variation for current to voltage is, the more and more current does not change voltage very much. So, or another way to say that is, adding a lot of.
This is also why pulse width modulation works so well with these systems, is that the on and off is such a
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So So they effectively act as, I mean, when I teach kids, I teach them it's a constant drop, but it isn't really. But pretty much everything that we tell people is a lie that is just true most of the time. So.
Mommy and Daddy aren't still married?
Useful abstraction.
Yes, useful abstraction. That's a good way to term it.
Notice that you can change the current flow type from conventional current to
Ah, yes,
Actual electrons.
Yeah.
yes.
You mean you can use the left-hand rule like in New York State?
So actually that the difference between conventional and electron flow kept me out of electronics for a very long time, because I one of my first books I tried to read was a book that showed electron flow, but they used all the symbols for conventional flow. And so trying to figure out why the arrow was pointing opposite the direction that the current was moving just completely destroyed me. I mean, it was unrecoverable. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Well, it'd be one thing if they had like an intro chapter that says, "Hey, let me tell you why this is totally messed up."
Yeah.
Right? But no, they just dove right into it. It's like, here's the symbol, here's the thing going the wrong way. Ta-da! Yeah.
I got spoiled in school because I grew up in New York State, where for the Regents exams they teach it as electron flow, but when you take the AP exam, which could often be the same year, they did that as conventional flow. So it was like, all right, right now we're doing left-hand rule, now we're doing right-hand rule, and we would have that moment of switch over.
Mm-hmm.
It's still all the same rules, but now it's poltergeist rules.
Yep.
Okay.
So
God versus Rockefeller.
I do conventional flow because if I had to do both, I would just lose my mind. And I'm a conventional guy, so conventional guy does conventional flow. So you can change parameters. I can change this to 100 volts if I want. Yeah, like you can put in switches. So
Show you when the blue smoke is still in.
it does not show the release of the smoke.
Okay.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
It doesn't know whether you have a 1,000 watt LED.
But
I guess it could.
so I can take a switch and and I can take the switch and put it in here, and notice it stopped the flow as soon as I put it in, and then I can click on it like I'm pushing the switch down.
It's an ounce.
So, and I can make oscilloscope be very happy.
Put an inductor in there. Let's watch that happen.
Ooh, yeah.
Very 555.
Inductor. What?
Does it bounce?
No, sadly it doesn't. They should put in a bouncy switch, cause yeah, that doing bounce. Yeah, well, so somebody complained. I did that talk on my event library. Well, somebody. So I did that talk on my own and posted to my own YouTube channel as well. And some guys are complaining about it, and then like 2 months later he came back and he's like, I just came up with I came upon a very bouncy switch, and I all of a sudden I recognize what you're trying to do. Yeah, because some switches have no bounce almost.
I apologize. Bounce.
On the switch, yeah. So when you push it, it pushes unpushes it
It stutters.
thousands of times.
The actual metal kind of shakes when you first snap it closed.
Yeah.
You get a lot of
Bouncing there.
Yeah.
So like especially on Arduino, if you're doing your input as just checking to see if it's high and then low, well that could you could be hitting that switch 100 times as far as your Arduino is concerned for every one time you press it. So what we generally do is throw in a delay, and well, I mean it's a lot easier just to mess with it in software. And so you just check it after 30 milliseconds and see if it's still down, and if it is, then you just count that as one.
There's more fancy.
There are fancier ways to do it. I'm not fancy. I'm the duct tape and baling wire type of guy. So, someone wanted an inductor.
Watch that oscilloscope.
So yeah. So that did not. Let's see here. 1 Henry. It's been a long time since I've messed with inductance.
1 Henry is huge.
That's yeah. So it should be.
That's an O Henry.
Is this gonna be? Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. Here, let's look at it itself.
How much current is actually flowing when you press it? Are you
Not
still
much.
Zero current.
Yeah. So I probably got too many resistors. Thank you. So usually the nice thing about iCircuit is that I actually learned so much on iCircuit because you could actually see all of the things that you thought you knew about electronics but were wrong. Generally, iCircuit will show you. Usually, I'm like, iCircuit's messed up. It's doing something really weird. Then I'm like, oh no, I'm really messed up and I have no idea what I'm doing. That's usually the case.
It's good for kinesthetic learning.
Yes. So, yeah. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh yeah. If I put a speaker on here, it'll actually make noise. So, so like we can put on an AC source, and so we can have this frequent. Well, that's all right. So we'll make this a 20 kilohertz in hearing range.
No, it's
No.
very top.
All right, we'll do 1 kilohertz.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you can't hear. Oh yeah, 1 kilohertz. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
so
nice and annoying.
we'll take that guy out.
If you go to
And-
880 hertz, would be
But I
awesome.
like the disco LED too.
And then we'll put on.
Almost certainly fried LED.
That's your speaker. Let's see if this. So my computer won't do audio when it's connected to. I'm not gonna mess with it. Too many pieces of equipment connected.
We'll just pretend that it's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Now there is a buzzer, so the buzzer will work. There's a photoresistor, DC motor, all kinds of fun stuff like that. So you can actually.
How do you activate the photoresistor?
I am not sure.
Mouse over it.
Turn your. Yeah, I was gonna say put your phone light on first.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that actually activates or not.
Put an LED right next to it.
It does have a light
Does it
percent
use your
right
webcam?
there.
What?
The settings had a light percent.
I think though that's actually for maybe it is. I guess that is how much light.
You just tell it the
I'll- Although most photoresistors have a varying amount of resistance. I mean, there's different photoresistors have different resistance. So every once in a while on this app, I'll run into weird limitations. But overall, it works out really good. Another really cool thing about it is you can make subcircuits that you can then pull in. So, if I, let's say that I want to make I don't know, I can't think of something good off the top of my head. But
Is that a wipe? It's a wipe.
yeah. So, but we could make, you basically put ports on here, and these become pins on a chip that you can then import to other projects. So,
Can you publish and subscribe?
to what?
Things you made. Yes.
So, just to do a simple one, we'll have a resistor, and let's see here. Let's just do, I don't know. Let's just do a resistor. So we can do a resistor, 1 to 2, and then I can save this. Let's see here. Put on my desk. Biscuits. I like it. So we'll save that. Then we'll do a new one. Make sure this is in the same directory. Use biscuits. And then I can import a subcircuit. And then I choose it. Biscuits. And so now I have 2 ports. And this just pulls in that.
It's like calling a library. That's awesome.
Yes, exactly. And that the nice thing about it is that like all, because there's a lot of things that do something kind of like this, but this is the only one where the user experience is the way that it really should be. Like really where you think you should be able to click and drag, you really can click and drag, and where you think that you should be able to add stuff, you really can add stuff. But I haven't gotten to the amazing one yet. Are you all ready to be amazed?
I'm already missing socks. What more?
All right. So watch this. Okay. So we're going to put in a 5-volt source. Okay. This is what they just came out with. All right. So under digital, I've got all these NOR gates, OR gates. I've got a 555 timer, but they just added in Arduino. Okay. Now watch this. Look in the right side of my screen. I'm going to click on this. I can put code in the right side of my screen, and it will run the code. So notice there's nothing happening right now because it's not powered. But if I connect 5 volts here and ground here, all of a sudden pin 13 is going high and low. It's got blink installed.
Oh my god.
See?
Does
And
this Arduino have crystal built into it?
I presume so.
Okay, so wait, can you also get a 555 chip?
Yeah.
You gonna
Yeah.
freak out here?
555 right there.
It has a keyboard shortcut. You press 5 on the keyboard handle. I saw it on the drop down.
Hit 5 times.
See? Right there. 5.
Guys, oh my god, I just no fives.
Yep. And
Ooh, a BCD to 7-sec. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is-
so anyway, so you can I played with this just a little bit, but you can it'll actually do whatever you need, I don't know if this is actually compiling it or if it's interpreting it or what it's doing. I imagine it's just a quick compile and run, but I'm not real sure what the
How does it do timing wise?
I mean, look, so this has a 1 second delay from high where it stays on a second and it's off for a half second. All right. So let's just take a look at it. It's about right.
I was more thinking if you're doing
Uh,
because
y-
the
y-
things I do in Arduino is real time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The
Um,
timing matters.
Right. So how fast it is?
What kind of delay comes from having an actual circuit in there?
Yeah.
Does it
What-
deal with
What kind of
does it
sampling?
essentially slow down so that
What's the sampling rate? Yeah. I don't know what. So you can set the sampling rate on this, like the speed of the simulation.
that
I
probably solves most of the problem.
it probably does. I wouldn't swear to it, but you can speed up and slow down the simulation.
Oh, that is really good.
Yeah. So anyway, when they said they came out with this, I was like, that is amazing.
Now they just need like the Ethernet shield so you can slide
Yeah, I'd be pretty impressed if they managed to pull that one off, but probably not.
This is open source?
No, it's not open source. Yeah, yeah. The Falstad one's open source, but it doesn't have an Arduino on it.
How much does it cost?
It's like $8.
Pretty good price.
Yeah, no,
But
it's
it's based on it? You don't know. I'm not hearing.
I don't know what license Falstad's under, but yeah, I don't think it's a restrictive license. Yeah. Well, and technically, open source, you are allowed to learn from open source. And so since Falstad's written in Java and this is written in .NET,
I guess that's
technically
true.
it's actually allowed.
Arguing as a derivative work.
Right. So
Try typing something in the Arduino.
yeah. So I mean, I just played with this by increasing the delay. So we'll put this for 5 seconds. You come out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's on.
No, I tried typing a direct port command that
What?
I'm about to read to you and see,
Oh.
see if it only understands Arduino or if it's actually simulating the microcontroller.
Yeah. What?
Port D, all one word,
Is it uppercase?
all uppercase, equals capital B 10101
1010100. What is this?
It's just setting digital pins 7, 5, and 3 high.
That's what that does?
Yes, it's directly writing the port on the microcontroller, not using Arduino.
I think you had the binary slightly off.
Yeah, you need one more zero, I think.
1010.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm gonna stop trying to coach binary from over
Yeah,
here.
it doesn't like it.
Yeah.
That's easier. said
Yeah.
than done.
I think it's emulating it at a high level. I don't think it's
Just
I don't.
the Arduino
Yeah. It's my guess.
language and not the microcontroller.
So you
Right.
couldn't necessarily pull in like the advanced libraries or anything like that. Where
Probably can't get away with like SPI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love good wool socks.
Think you
Doesn't
can
seem
do
to have
SPI?
the-
I'm gonna really. I'd be really surprised.
Yeah.
What's the fish in?
Or we're open source. Just go and fix it.
It's just.
Well, I don't know. Sure, I got online with it.
Oh look, you also it has a show console, so I can do serial. Yeah. Serial dot begin 9600. Is that?
Yeah. So, fun fact, Arduino has the printf command
It does.
and it compiles and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's an empty function.
Yep. So it's a valid but useless function. And that's what you normally use to print the console. And it kept it. It just
It's
made it
just a stub for importing code. Kind
It's
Yep.
here. Is it?
It's usually print line.
Is it print line?
it's print or println, yeah.
Yeah.
Serial.write is technically a thing too, but I don't think that's the
Yeah, it tries to print
binary,
binary,
right?
yeah. There you go.
Is that below it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be here.
I can't read
Is it showing on your screen?
Serial dot begin 9600, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, there it
There you
goes.
go.
Yep.
I guess it was just waiting to start.
Took a long time to.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because we got a 5-second delay on it. That's why.
Oh.
I still have my 5-second delay. So yeah. So there we
That
go.
makes sense.
It's writing into the output.
That makes sense.
So
Missing world.
yes. I have to that is a bug in the program. There is no world.
It's a little bumper.
Now-
My chair was stepping.
So I have probably written so while some people may have written hello world in more languages than me, I think I've written the factorial function in more languages than anyone else. I have what I believe is and also lowercase
You're exclaiming about your factorial.
and what?
You're exclaiming about your factorial.
Yes, and lowercase to uppercase. I believe I've written the fastest lowercase to uppercase function ever. When the PlayStation 3 came out, it's got the 8 cores. So I did a tutorial on how to use 8 cores, and the example function was a giant lowercase to uppercase function. So I split the task across all 8 cores and anyway and there.
Uppercase.
Yes. Yeah. So
Maybe 3 of them were vectors.
yeah, exactly. So you
Well,
so
back then it used to run Linux and it wasn't a big deal.
yeah.
That's what you were doing it on, I'm guessing, right?
Right. Yeah. The
Did you do a cluster of them yet?
no, I only had one. It was so I actually when the I actually got a contract from IBM to write the initial tutorials for that thing.
Right.
And actually there's a funny story about me getting kicked out of Walmart. Um,
I
yeah. Yeah, no, it was a rough time in my life, and I didn't listen to my wife's advice to not show up at Walmart dressed like a hobo. And I'd been out of gaming so basically what happened is IBM gave me money in the contract to get a PlayStation, but they couldn't give me one because I didn't have proper NDAs and stuff like that. So I could go out the first day and get one, right? So the problem was that I just assumed if I got there the night before, I could get one easily, right? So I show up. I'm actually wearing my pajamas in Walmart. So I go there, and there's 100 people in line for 10 units, right? And so I'm thinking, like, I don't actually need a PlayStation. I just need to test my code to make sure it runs, right? So I go to the front of the line, and I start telling people, I was like, I will, I'll pay for your PlayStation 3 if I can have the first 10 hours on it. And so I offered that to like 4 or 5 people, and everyone's like, no. And I was like, what's going on? And someone's like, well, how do we know you're not going to steal it? I was like, oh, okay, well, that's reasonable. So I went to my car I was going to get my programming book and show them that I'm this person. I'm the author of the programming book. I really, yeah. And, but while I was gone, the people at the front of the line had told Walmart security about me. So when I came back, I was escorted out of the building. So anyway.
How many years was it until you were allowed back to the house?
Oh, I mean they didn't like keep my name on file or anything. They just kicked me out.
That's a great private story to just hang out with. I got kicked out of Walmart once.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great.
I can admit that I was the youngest person in out of a specific.
I'm still
So-
delighted by the ex-coworker I had who got kicked out of a casino in Vegas for counting cards. It's like I've never met anybody who would actually do that.
Yeah. I actually well actually, I tell people there's actually a way to tell, because some people think they're good at gambling, and I tell people there's a way to find out if you're good at gambling, and that is if you have to sneak in to the casino, then you're good at gambling. Otherwise, you're not good at gambling. There's actually
If you know you're bad at gambling, just double down on the state.
although I actually had a friend who put himself through Johns Hopkins on gambling. I don't know if it's just blackjack or what else he did, but anyway, he interesting fellow.
Checks on him. That wasn't a casino. 'Cause it's Maryland.
Well, my doctor put himself through college through from a casino. Of course, he was dealing.
Yeah, dealers are it takes less math to make money dealing.
Yeah, he was a doctor. He'd be sitting out in the parking lot dealing drugs.
But what I tell my students is that all statistics is just an extended analogy to gambling, and so that's really what it is. Like,
Also the metric system, so they have to stop it right now. Get back to their hottest heads per furlong.
So anyway, so I want to show that, and most of what I learned. So it took me a long time because I'm kind of a slow learner. It took me a long time to figure out how transistors really worked, and so I spent, the nice thing about this, I could spend hours just sitting on this, figuring out how everything's working, and having little oscilloscopes on every single output, trying to figure out and playing with, getting an amplifier to run, and how would a transistor amplifier work? Just go through this, and now it's complaining because I don't have anything there. So, so here's the bandwidth of the circuit, Philip. So just on the document, that's how many hertz the actual circuit is running at.
Oh, okay.
The other thing that I really like about this program, which other people don't care about, but I do, is I think the symbols look nice.
They do. They're very clear.
Yeah, and a lot of them, and it's not just that they're clear; they're smooth too. Like a lot of resistor symbols are really jaggedy, and these are really nice looking.
It's as if they were working from a good template rather than just riffing. Cool.
Yeah, because if you even look at the Falstad one is is pretty rough. See, these are very jaggedy resistors, and it's just a very ugly looking thing. But so I'm working on a electronics book, and so I just used all of these symbols for my output because they look so much better than anybody else's. The one issue though is that if you print it to PDF, it gets really weird. I don't know why. If you save it as a PNG, it looks fine, but if you do a PDF, like the lines don't totally connect, and
But their conversion through what's it called?
You say that this is free?
no, it's not free, but it's like $8.
Yeah, okay. It's $4.99 on the Windows Store.
Gotcha. Yeah, and as I say, there's an iOS version too, so you can just do it on your phone.
You could do it on some people's phones.
I can do it on my
My
phone.
wife could do it on her phone.
Yes. Or if
Never happened.
if you're one of the 5 people who have a Windows phone.
I could plead the fifth. It was one of the worst experiences I've had with a phone. I've had some bad phones.
All right.
Not mine, thank goodness.
So anyway, that's mainly what I wanted to show today. Let's see here. If there's any other interesting features of it. There's an op amp, which is nice. The gates. We talked about the 555 timer. I actually have some circuits that are halfway decent that I did for the electronics book that we can look at. Let's see here.
Wait, does it import or export fritzing?
No, the fritzing stuff is separate.
Okay.
No, unfortunately, and fritzing has the ugliest symbols that there are. Let's see here, because I think I have a good 555 on here somewhere. Is it this one? Nope, that's just. Actually, some of these are not for actually showing, because, like the 555 on here, it comes out as a. Where is it? It comes out in this weird shape.
No, that's normal.
Well, I mean that's not the shape of the actual
No,
chips.
But every time you see a 555 Donut diagram, it's going like that.
Right. So.
That's on purpose because that's a tradition.
Yeah.
Can't modify tradition.
Tradition.
You're the one who said
Tradition.
you want tradition.
I do.
Well,
I do
you
like.
want tradition. You don't want electron model.
Yeah. So and what's also interesting is that you can tell on the right the actual file format is actually pretty simplistic.
This
Um,
mumbles.
Let's see here.
Saying that's a lot of area code 384. It's really like Tide.
Let's see here. So here's a.
Cool.
So this circuit, I'm trying to remember. I think the idea by this circuit is it is a push button, but it will just stay on once you push it. Okay.
Latching push button.
A what?
A latching push button.
Yes.
How do you unlatch it?
I don't remember. It's been a while. So yeah, push that, and of course it doesn't look like it's working. So
Not 100% certain where the output's supposed to be.
it's this guy.
That guy. He's on now.
Oh. Let me see if I can figure out one that's more likely to be correct. Because a lot of these, I actually, let's see here. Oh, there we go. It's this one because it was easier to do a double click one than it was a.
Is that the reset button? at the
Yeah,
bottom?
this is the reset button. Yeah. So let's see here. Is there a way to zoom this so we can see it better? Zoom out. And see if I can get rid of this guy. view. Turn off the scope. Nope, that's wrong.
It was a hide something.
Oh, hello.
Now it's all scope.
It's only the scope. There we go. So zoom in. Yeah. So this is a latching. So basically, when you close this switch, these transistors will keep the power flowing. And so you can see that the power moves through here, and even when I let go, it keeps the status on. And then this guy clears it. So anyway, so you can see that it does a lot of, pretty much all your standard electronics logic works on this. So let's see here. You can label stuff. Let me see if they fix this. Historically, this has been really messed up, but it looks like they fixed it. Yay! In previous versions, if you try to type in the text label, it would give you 1 character per line.
Oh, nice.
Yes. In fact, actually to modify it, I actually had to go into the file and actually change it. Ports, subcircuits.
So when you say when you go to the file, it's a text file, like an XML or something?
It's like tab separated.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty straightforward.
It looked like it was like coordinates and then like component
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
labels
didn't
and
see it.
stuff like that.
So here's the file up here on the right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just like I think this is the component, probably the coordinates, and then information about the component. So basically just a giant initializer.
Any interoperability with other software?
Not that I know of. I haven't tried.
So let's say you designed the most coolest, best circuit anybody's ever thought of in this.
Yes.
You're like, all right, I want to make a board.
Yeah. No.
No?
Yeah. Fritzing will do that. Have you ever used Fritzing? Yeah. Although I don't enjoy using Fritzing. I enjoy using this. So yeah, voltage regulators, motors, transformers, sources, all sorts of fun stuff.
Well, I guess if you really cared, it's a really simple file. You could make a converter
Probably so.
to
I mean,
a SCH file.
yeah, so my actual experience with electronics stops at the breadboard. So that's as far as I really go. So any other questions?
No, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, man. Yeah. So I recommend this to everyone. I've loved it since I first used it. So all right. So do you have any questions from YouTube? All right. Well, goodbye, YouTubers. It's been real.